Let Me Read This, the podcast where we review the young adult books of our youth, sometimes inappropriate, often badly written, and falling into both categories. Our special book today, Halloween Party! For our special spooky edition for this delightful October.
Spoopy.
It is
crappy. Spoopy.
I was actually discussing this with my partner last night as he was like kind of paging through the book. He's like, so this one's not so much inappropriate as like you shouldn't have read it, but it's inappropriate as it's just bad.
Yeah, just like, no one should read it.
It's a little bit of column A and B.
Yeah. I mean, nothing will ever be as inappropriate as Miss VC.
Sweet Audrina.
I don't know.
I don't know. We could do the whole...
The VC Andrews canon.
Yeah, just the whole VC Andrews canon.
Yeah.
So joining us today on this episode is Miss Sarah Wallisch, to my right. Miss Andrea Roedel-Schroeder, with the power shrug. And our special guest, professional apologizer, Kelsey Lexow.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We're working on it.
Gotta get you that matcha.
Oh, man. So we have been diving into R.L. Stine's Fear Street edition of Halloween Party.
Halloween Party.
From the early 90s?
Yep. Yeah, 1990.
Yep. Very exciting, chosen by Miss Kelsey Lexow. And we've already learned a little bit about the book. Kelsey, do you want to recap where we're at so far for anyone who dared to miss our last two episodes?
Absolutely.
Rude.
So our 9 main characters, Nikki, Terry, Alex, who are all sort of in a weird love triangle. Nikki and Terry are a couple. Alex used to date Nikki, and it's totally weird. Yeah.
Because it is.
It is, yeah.
Because they choose to make it weird.
Because they choose to make it weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. High school. We can't figure out how to just move on and be friends.
Right, exactly. So they're there. Les, woo-woo, Team Les. David, Angela, Trisha, and Ricky have all been invited to an all-night Halloween party in a creepy mansion on Fear Street. And it's hosted by Justine, who is the mysterious new girl in town.
And stacked.
There is a... Definitely stacked, definitely mentioned
Nikki
a
has
lot.
some extreme thoughts about her body.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which I love.
Yes. So then the teens form teams because it's high school and you're either a jock or a wimp.
Yep.
Because that's how it works. Yeah. And so they form teams to see who's going to be the bravest and who is the alpha dog. And the way that they're going to do that is through a prank war.
Ugh.
Yeah. And so escalating prank war.
I
Yep.
almost said the worst kind of war. And then I was like,
No. There's a couple others. Yeah. But still pretty bad. And the prank war is escalating, and this includes scaring each other during the party. And scaring each other during the party includes several prank murders, which are hilarious.
Who doesn't prank murder?
Doesn't scar anyone at all.
No.
And then the 2 school bullies show up, drive their motorcycles through the front door, and they try to destroy the party, and they beat up several people, but then they are defeated via fisticuffsmanship by our hero manly men.
Yep.
Teenagers of the party.
That's how you solve things.
And then the rest of the group goes on a scavenger hunt, and then while they're doing that, Nikki is also going on her own scavenger hunt because her hackles are raised by Justine. She doesn't trust her at all. And so Nikki uncovers that Justine might not be who she seems. Ooh. So she might be kind of unjustine. I'll see myself out. And then when last we left them, Justine has just had a dangerous accident, falling 2 floors to the floor. But she recovers fine, and she's more upset that the party isn't going to continue. So then the kids are like, "No, it's great. We love the party. Let's continue." And then Nikki and Terry have a fight, and Nikki's like, "I'm just going to go do some more research because, dude." And that's where we are.
And they call the cops then, right?
No cops, no ambulances. No, everybody's fine.
Everybody's beat up.
Yeah, 2 head
Everybody's
wounds.
Injured.
And
Yes. Should we call an ambulance?
No.
Yeah. We've gone from the prank of these spaghetti noodles are brains to like literal multiple pretend murders.
Yeah.
The whole gamut of pranks, really.
The one
Les pranked that he got stabbed in the chest.
Right.
So he had like a fake knife in his chest with ketchup for blood. And then Alex pranked that he died by like hanging
in a closet.
In his silver unitard.
In his silver unitard and sparkly mask, which is
Silver
fine.
Prince.
His silver prince. Beautiful. And the only adult in the group is Justine's Uncle Phil, who has also been assaulted by the bikers that came in. He's got a massive head wound.
I feel like if he could just like manifest some more like Fresh Prince Uncle Phil energy.
I keep thinking of him.
He really is the lesser
Every time
Phil.
we say Uncle Phil, I just picture Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince in a clown suit. And it's even more terrifying.
Yes,
One
'cause
sparkling
Uncle
tear.
Phil dressed as a sad clown with a single sparkling tear.
So we've got some delightful things to dive into in this episode. So as previously mentioned, everyone just decides to keep partying despite previous weirdness.
Like you do.
Right? I've seen parties crash and burn way faster. And then a thunderstorm kicks up. Which is the perfect time to have everyone play Truth or Dare.
Oh, sorry. Just truth.
Yeah, it's just called
truth.
Truth.
And it's a one very specific truth.
Because copyright infringement.
Yes. It's not even like you choose your truth.
Well,
And then Terry decides to go look for Nikki because he realizes he was being a jerk. But instead he finds Les stabbed in the chest. For real this time. Yeah. Or is it? And they decide to go look for him and the body's gone. So lots of crazy things happening in this episode. But let's start back at the beginning of this. Nikki is trying to tell Terry what she found in the closet and she thinks Justine's up to something. And Terry tells her that she just has just a silly hunch.
or
Just a
something.
silly hunch.
Just a silly hunch.
I just found like secret clothes and a bunch of prescriptions
For a
and
different person?
sketchy pictures.
And a picture of her with an older man. There's documentation, and you're right, it's silly.
It's fine.
I'm just being silly.
I'm sorry.
She's like hype about it a little bit.
Silly girl.
Yeah, she's like kind of a little into like Justine having like a secret life on the weekends and like
Yeah. She's like, ooh, she's having an affair with an older man.
yeah, no.
Right. I am assuming they cut out the chapter where Nikki is there in her closet for hours trying on her clothes and
Yes.
Justine for a
Yes.
while. Yep. Like
Talking to her fake older man.
Right,
Like,
yes.
Yes.
hello.
In her fox fur.
Exactly. Oh, thank you for this lovely fox, honey. That was so sweet of you. I'm 17.
You're 40.
I love
fine.
you, Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, God.
Oh, we win.
Sorry, everyone.
Why?
And despite the fact that Nikki previously mentioned seeing Justine mouth the words, everyone is going to pay,
Right.
all of them.
Every one of
yes.
them will pay.
It's just dismissed as a silly hunch.
Right. Right. Because, lady,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just women being hysterical.
She's
It's
just-
fine.
you're being hysterical.
There's been
Nikki.
2 pretend murders, 1 real murder, you know,
probably her time of the
banisters
month.
being
That's all
sawed
it
through,
is.
biker attacks.
multiple head wounds.
Everything's fine. This
Everything
is a great
is
party.
fine.
Sounds like you've got PMS.
Whatever. Why don't you go eat another slice of pizza? Yeah.
I will end you.
So now a thunderstorm kicks up, which Justine has not planned.
Right.
She
Yes.
makes a point to tell everyone that
Yeah.
Mother Nature did this.
Right.
Thanks, Justine. It's not one of her surprises.
You're making it weird.
I made it weird. So Justine gets everyone to just play truth.
Yes.
Not
Specific
not dare.
truth. Not even just like open truth, like tell me about something about you. It's like specifically, what's the worst thing you've ever done?
Oh.
Like, what? Justine?
Why do people agree to play,
Play this.
I feel like you're either about to like try to get information to then blackmail us.
Yeah.
or you are fishing for something specific.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're planning to murder us.
It's one of those things where, like, if only the characters in the R.L. Stein novel knew they were in an R.L. Stein novel.
Right.
Or had, like, ever seen a horror film. Like,
They just wouldn't have gone to the party.
yeah.
Right.
It would have been a really short
It
book.
would have been me over here like, you want me to go to a party on a creepy street in a creepy house with people I don't know and like a bunch of people that you've randomly selected? Nah, I'm good.
Not gonna happen.
Smash cut to Sarah on the couch with her cat. Like,
Right.
Listen, I
The
appreciate the coffin invitation. It's a very nice touch, but it's going to be a hard pass.
So we're playing truth, and they get to your boy Ricky.
Yeah.
oh my gosh, there's just so much to unpack about Ricky. I want 14 novels about Ricky.
There are 3 that he's in.
I love it.
Done, including The Overnight, which is another
Yes.
Fear Street book.
Tis. It's oddly enough, it gets back to Ricky's roots about science. It's his he's part of the nature club.
Amazing.
And the nature club goes for an all-night party on Fear Island.
Okay, but
Whoa,
Ricky's in a nature club, but
Where is Fear Island in like
Okay,
comparison to
so
Fear Street?
Fear Street,
fearography here.
Fear Mansion,
Fear Street.
Fear Lake,
Okay.
Fear Island.
Okay, so it's not just Fear Street. We're calling the novels Fear Street, but
Right.
it's like
Fear,
Fear bunch of things.
Fear a bunch of things.
Fear
yeah.
region.
Fear
yeah.
region.
I mean, that's a fair. So there's
neighborhood.
also the Fear Street Woods, which is behind the Fear Street Mansion. And there's also the Fear Street Cemetery, which is what they're walking through in this book to get up to the Cameron Mansion.
If I die and you guys bury me in the Fear Street Cemetery, I'm gonna haunt your asses good.
I mean, look, you have a choice.
I
Like,
mean, that's kind of the best way to make sure you haunt
Kind of a
someone.
prerequisite at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
I do feel like my boy Ricky just wants to go on a nature retreat, hang out with some frogs, like,
I mean,
and instead murder.
I can tell you he does bring paint guns to that nature retreat.
Ricky.
Yeah, that's one that you should discuss on this. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So Ricky clearly learned nothing from the nature club because he just
Yeah.
carries around a frog in a sack.
Right.
Biology project.
Jar of dead tadpoles.
Yeah.
So he's forced to tell some truth about the worst thing that he's ever done, but he won't.
Yeah, he balks.
Ricky's got some integrity.
So he's got the
So if you want to know what happened that was the worst thing Ricky's ever done, you have to read the opening.
yeah, which
Thanks
like
a lot, R.L. Stein.
genius marketing, RL.
I'm gonna go get that.
And then his like intense task that he needs to do to atone for not telling the truth,
It's horrible.
standing on one foot.
For how
Which, like, again,
long?
The levels in this, like, Justine has no concept of like appropriate, like moderation. It's either like
What's so creepy is she calls it a punishment.
Yeah.
Your punishment is to stand on one foot in the corner.
like
She's like, I fell off a 2-story balcony, but like, it's fine. Let's keep partying. But your punishment is to stand on one foot.
Girl.
yeah.
I mean, thinking of me in like my late 30s, that would be horrible. Like, I have
yeah.
a jacked up ankle. If someone
yeah.
told me to do that, I'd be like, no.
I'm terrified of like driving inattentively because I know I could not pass this field sobriety test just because I have arthritis and I can't do it.
But a high schooler, they should be fine.
Right. Yeah.
Stand on one foot. All right.
right.
You want me
I guess.
Right? And so when is he allowed to stop standing on one
He
foot?
asks like a couple
When
of
shit
times.
gets real.
Yeah, I think it's like
Shit
when
gets
things
real,
pop
yeah.
off. Yeah.
Okay, then. All right, so we're going to dive into that hot mess right after this word from our sponsors from sexyhackers.com, who gave us this wicked sweet space.
And these wicked sweet shirts.
sexyhackers.com.
And welcome back to our special spooky Who Let Me Read This.
Surprises.
Now on, whenever someone says surprises, I'm just going to punch
You're just gonna punch them in the face.
No!
Just like a spider.
Go stand in the corner on one foot.
Are you gonna teach Muggsy that next for his next trick?
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
he doesn't learn anything.
He can't stand on one foot. He has arthritis.
Oh, that's true. Oh, maybe Clemmy.
Clem could do it. That's all right. dog folks here.
Puppers.
So in this party, now that Ricky is standing on one foot, things are just, people are probably shaking in fear that could happen to them next.
Yeah.
Terry decides to book it out of there and go look for Nikki.
Yep.
But instead, he finds Les stabbed in the chest.
Yes, Team Les. For real this time.
Prank murder?
No. Real murder.
But so we call the cops, right?
No.
We
Funnily enough.
rappel down the side of a building using rope to retrieve
No,
him.
not
I mean, not yet.
Almost.
Oh,
Not yet.
He's
Because,
like, hey, this guy's dead.
Yes.
I don't even know how he finds David.
I should go find Uncle Phil. He's going to find Uncle Phil to tell Uncle Phil about the dead body.
Yeah.
And not the police about the dead body.
Because Uncle
And then-
Phil's been doing a great job handling situations this whole time.
Yup.
Exactly.
He finds David, and they
Look for Uncle Phil.
look for Uncle Phil and don't find him, so they go to look for Les.
Yep.
He gone.
And
gone.
all they find is Uncle Phil's bloodied clown costume. What is creepier than that to find?
Yeah.
Well, an
Bloody
entire
Uncle.
clown.
Yeah, a bloody clown.
So they finally tell the rest of the group about finding Les murdered. And while the group freaks out, David, our logical guy, goes for help.
Right.
Oh, but
Yes,
they had
David.
found the body. I'm sorry.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
rappelling down the side of the building.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's bonkers.
Yep.
Because he's like, they find I think a smear of blood below the window.
They follow the blood trail.
as you do. And then he's like, he fell onto like a second story.
Like, it's like a gable in the roof.
Yeah. And so they tie some rope and rappel down to his dead body and then carry it back into the house.
Yeah, they cover that in high school gym class.
Have you tried to pick up a dead body? Like, there's a reason they call it dead weight. I don't have much experience with human bodies, but I did work as a vet tech for a long time, and there's a reason they call it dead weight. Yeah.
But also,
That got real dark. Sorry.
It's okay. It's our spooky episode.
Now go home and think about death.
Too late.
so they bring his body back in the house.
Yeah.
For proof that he's actually dead.
That is this
Yes.
time.
Which, like, to be fair, as awkward as that is, there have been a lot of, like, JK, not actually dead.
That is true.
situations.
And especially with Les. Yeah. Because
and-
Les was the first prank murder.
And poor Terry keeps finding these people and running to tell everybody, like, oh my God, so and so's dead. And then they go
They're
and
like,
find
yeah,
them.
okay.
Okay,
Sure.
boy who cried
Right again.
corpse.
And I mean, I'm not one about disturbing a crime scene. I watch a lot of Law and Order, but it's thunderstorming.
That
we
is
don't want to
true.
rinse
You
away
have to weigh.
evidence.
Yeah.
suppose, yeah.
Which is going to destroy more evidence? Getting the body and bringing it back inside,
Yeah.
or
Yes.
leaving it out there for the rain to wash away, all the
the
evidence.
evidence. Yeah.
And then while this is happening, because nobody else sees Les's body.
Yeah.
And then Chaboy David goes to run through the graveyard.
Yeah, but before Angela freaks out and runs out the door, trips over Bobby and Marty's ramp, and injures herself to the point where she is no longer weight bearing on one of her legs.
Yes.
Yep.
Which is her single plot point in
Yep.
this entire book, which is more than
And-
Trish gets, I
Yeah.
guess.
also
So
that she's fast.
And then
Yes.
people are trying to talk David out of going because there's a thunderstorm. You can't go out there. That's
Yeah.
a line in the book.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a dead body
Try to call
upstairs.
cops at this point.
Not at this point. Well, wait. Yes, actually, that's the reason that David leaves,
Yes.
because they find the kitchen and they go into the kitchen when they're looking for Uncle Phil, and the phone doesn't work, and then they see dun dun dun, the wire's been cut.
Oh no! Right. Because it's the 90s and we don't have cell phones yet.
Right.
I really do. I have to take a moment to like admire / hate R.L. Stine's poor use of like misdirection at this point, because the logical thing would be for all of them to assume that the strange grown man dressed as a clown was the one perpetrating these crimes. And it's never even like, it doesn't cross anybody's mind.
No,
They
they
find
blame.
his bloody costume where a person was just murdered, and they're like, "We better find him and see what we should do."
Because Bobby and Marty are the ones that did this.
Definitely.
Yeah. Which like is a bonkers jump for me. Like, so many opportunities. But
Good. So,
So little
So David finally runs off to get help, runs through the graveyard, goes back to everyone's cars where all their tires have been slashed.
Yes.
You know how much effort that takes? Slashing a tire is hard.
Yeah.
Not that I know.
You have to assume like at least some of them drove together, I would hope.
right.
Well, probably Nikki and Terry.
Yeah.
Terry, maybe like no, because Alex came later. David
Yeah.
was already there.
Shoot.
Maybe Alex and the girl who was dressed as a slutty biker,
Angela.
Angela.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's her only character,
Yeah.
Yeah.
only characterization. So I couldn't remember.
Good.
Her.
Yep.
So he's running. He's going to get help, and he runs into Marty and Bobby, the biker bullies. They are even more drunk and violent
Yep.
They found some wine coolers.
because that's what happens in small towns when you don't have anything better to do. Nakusa High School. So David's trying to run away from them because they're going to beat the snot out of him.
Yeah.
Right.
But he slips and hits his head on a tombstone.
Yeah, he beats
Immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just a step.
Blurk.
And they're drunk and extra, so they think he's dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
And their, of course,
God,
their
he's
response
dead.
is like, well, we better go.
Yep.
And they got to decide what to do with him. And that choice is never just leave him there or get help.
Nope.
They got to like do something to,
To
him,
him.
as opposed to just leaving him in this abandoned
Yeah.
graveyard with like no evidence that,
Yeah.
again, a lot of Law and Order. I was like, y'all would be fine.
Yeah.
Just
I
do
mean,
this.
he might still be alive.
Just leave.
Jerk his spine around a lot.
Just shake him.
Yeah.
Just shake him a lot.
Jerk
Just,
his spine
drag
around a
him and
lot.
Jerk him around a lot. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You have a chain. Like,
Hook him up to the chain.
Just hook him up to the back of your motor. No,
No,
don't.
don't. Bad idea.
Shit got real dark, ladies. You know, now I'm just wondering, like, how much experience does everyone have with this? Like,
There's like, I've seen
a
Sons of Anarchy. What?
I have not seen Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, now I'm even more frightened.
well, worth it.
But I watched most of Criminal Minds.
have you read Hamlet? It's the same thing, but on bikes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, but Hamlet's the worst.
It's
So
just
is Jax.
Lion King.
Sorry, Sons of Anarchy.
You know? So in all of this, there were so many WTF moments.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I'd love to maybe just highlight one or two before we move on to a special topic surprise. Right? So any of these, anyone just at any point call the cops? No one? Just call the cops?
No.
You're
You're good?
Right?
Somebody's murdered? Call the cops?
No.
Let's ask the guy whose bloody clothes we found by the murdered body what we should do.
Right.
Right? Because now there is a naked, bloodied Uncle Phil running around. This
Ain't that a mental
I
picture?
like picture him still wearing the like ruffle, the like neck ruffle though.
He's got the clown shoes.
He's got the shoes and the neck ruffle. But he left
And
the
the
rest of the costume
sparkly
behind.
tears. Somehow that is
It's not the only sparkle.
Haunting.
It's
so
not the
more
only place he has a
upsetting.
sparkly teardrop.
Oh God! I need an adult.
So did they.
Everyone in this book needs an adult. Even Uncle Phil needs
Even
an
Uncle Phil
adult.
needs an adult.
And probably the biggest WTF out of this entire book, I'm going to say, is the fact that this version we read was the less body shamey version. Dun dun dun! This was a
It's
reprint.
What?
What?
2006 reprint.
2006. Okay.
Yep. So 16 years later, they're republishing this book.
Yep.
And start to go, well, there's a couple problematic points. Let's skip over all of those and just erase a few words.
Yes.
Wow. So,
Yeah, choices were made.
yeah. So, Kelsey, since you read the original
Yeah.
first, do share some favorite moments that when they reprinted that they decided to change.
So right off the bat, when Terry and Nikki are walking up to the mansion, we learn that Nikki is hearing impaired. They use deaf, whatever, that's fine. But then they say that that she reads lips so well that most people wouldn't realize that she has a handicap.
Nope.
Not
Even in 2006. was
Yeah,
it?
no. In the rewrite, they say most people wouldn't realize that she can't hear.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Getting
I'm gonna give that one a thumbs up.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
give that reprint a thumbs up.
Yeah. And then we meet Trisha. Trisha, who is dressed like a cheerleader. And every time Trisha's, in the OG version, Trisha's only descriptor is that she has a bit of a weight problem. She's wiry brown hair and a bit of a weight problem.
Yeah.
And so every time they talk about her in the book after that, they talk about the plump cheerleader and her round face. And yeah.
The part that was a real trip for me is Terry is constantly like ranking and like evaluating the attractiveness of every other character.
Well, yeah.
And there's a section where he literally like he ranks all of the women.
Yeah.
Except Trisha.
Right, because
And then
she's not
mentioned in a separate
She's mentioned in the next
section.
paragraph as the plump cheerleader, which is why
Yeah.
she's not ranked with the other girls
Yeah.
because plump cheerleader can't be attractive.
Yeah, it was
And he's our protagonist.
Terry, ladies and gentlemen. Les would never.
Yes. Les would never. My absolute favorite part that they did in redoing the book is during the crazy dance party where everyone dances super fast, super fast, super fast. Now they have it's a Black Eyed Peas reference in the OG version.
Amazing.
And in the original version, they say that the music keeps saying "Pump Up the Jam" over and over again. Pump up the jam, pump up the jam, and and now it's a Black Eyed Peas reference.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
I feel like you could keep Pump Up the Jam and like 2006 audience would still get it. Like they would still.
Well, and there's still a lot of like specific song references too throughout because like it seems like Justine's whole jam is like trying to establish like a decades situation because like at one point she plays like sock hoppy kind of like just leave
When
it.
the plump cheerleader dances with the bilious frog. Yeah, boy, Ricky.
Yes. Oh, Ricky.
So I'm curious what editor got a hold of this book and said, like, okay, we're going to do a reprint just because we want to, but RL, we need to, you know, and decided to skip over some other problematic pieces of the book.
Like the part where Bobby and Marty just grab Justine because she won't let them go to her party, and they just grab her by the arms and start tussling about with her, but then Terry has to come in and save her. So maybe that's the save the kitten moment.
Yeah. It is.
How will you know if they're bad guys if they're not
Sexually assaulting women. That's I
do, I feel like it unfortunately is a bit of a bind for any editor that was like brought on to do this reprint.
Right.
Because I feel like they could have just like, they were handed the book and like a highlighter and then like by page 45, the highlighter was dried out. Because, like, they had just been highlighting everything.
I see this like the editor and R.L. Stein like in a room like really hashing it out where R.L. Stein is like, no, that's important. You can't
change that.
Yes. And like those 3 edits are like all
that they
where he was like, no, this is all very important.
Yes.
But you can take out that you can take out calling her handicapped and put in just that she can't hear.
Yeah.
But you have to leave the fact that her problem is that her temper is problematic.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
She's feisty, right? Fiery.
Yeah. We specifically won't call it a handicapped. We'll just make the weirdest characterization of an HOH character that could like possibly exist in every other way, but we won't say handicapped.
Right.
Right.
She's got like
Most people
laser
couldn't even
eyes,
tell.
but you know, like
Laser eyes. It's okay. She's still popular because no one can tell.
Right. And it's okay that Trisha...
You are.
Right, yeah. No, it's okay that Trisha has a bit of a weight problem because in the next sentence it's qualified with, she was the most enthusiastic person that Terry had ever met.
she was she was so friendly.
I bet she was downright jolly. She was the funny one.
Exactly.
Oh, so brave. She's so brave showing up to a party.
I know.
As a
Her
cheerleader.
overweightness.
Right.
Right? Wow. And as we read these as a kid, you know, going, maybe I should put down this pizza.
Nikki actually says that to Terry. You're right. I should stop eating anyway.
Yeah, there's a specific
No, you
like.
shouldn't.
Do you want some of my carrot sticks and celery?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, that meal choice. She has a half
Sandwich.
half a peanut butter and banana.
Yes.
That is horrible, processed, full of sugar. I have so many thoughts on that meal. And then carrot sticks on the side.
And celery.
And celery,
And
the
celery.
worst vegetable on the side.
Colin's toothbrush.
That's all it is.
Celery.
A bold statement.
Celery.
But it's okay because it's 0 points, so you can eat all the celery that you want. This is vintage Weight Watchers info, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, Weight Watchers.
All right. Well, I cannot wait to find out the exciting conclusion of Halloween Party next week. Join us next Wednesday on Who Let Me Read This. Thank you very much to our guests today, Miss Sarah Wallisch, Miss Andrea Roedel-Schroeder, and Miss Kelsey Lexow, our special guest today. I'm Laura Holterman, and thank you very much to sexyhackers.com for this wicked sweet space and listening to all of our nonsense. We'll see you guys all next Wednesday.
Bye.
SexyHackers.com! Stream Team!